Clark and Ann channel. Want to play a guessing game with us? I have a Hatchimal inside this bag, and it's wearing a costume. Can you guess what it is? We'll give you 3 clues. I am big and green. I eat meat. I lived millions of years ago. Do you know what I am? Leave your answers in the comments below. Roar! I'm a dinosaur. I have had to roll inside my bag. That's right. Can you guess what I am? You'll give you 3 hints. I'm big and blue. I live in the ocean. I have lots of teeth. What am I? Roar. Do this. I'm a sock. I'm a sock.
To make the shark, you will need your Hatchimal, this hand puppet that I found at the dollar store that looks like a shark with teeth, a marker, ruler, pair of scissors, and if you want to do some optional things like add a fin or a tail, you'll need to also have a glue gun. First thing I'm going to do is remove the hand puppet from its packaging with the scissors. Just going to move that to the side. The next thing is that you're going to figure out what size holes you need to cut into the hand puppet. So what I'm going to do is just pull this over my Hatchimal until it's at a length that I like. You can see its little bottom is showing, so I might want to pull that down a little bit more. And I want the beak to show on mine. So I am just going to adjust it a little more like that. Have a look around at it, decide if that's the look you want. And then you're going to take your marker, and you can see I've already started to do this. I'm just going to draw some lines because I want to see my Hatchimal through this. And I'm just going to draw this around the beak. So I want this to look more like a costume than just a shark wrapping. I'm also going to make marks where the sides of my wings are, so I know how much room I need to leave for my wings. Next, take the hand puppet off your Hatchimal, and feel free to set your Hatchimal to the side. And you're going to take your scissors. I'm just going to fold this in half to make this a little bit easier and make sure that I don't cut where I don't want. Just begin cutting out the square rectangle shape inside that you just marked out with your marker. So now I have my opening for my Hatchimal's beak. I'm just going to trim it up here to make the ends a little cleaner. that done, I'm going to start cutting out where my wings are going to go. I'm going to set this to the side, bring back my Hatchimal. And if you look at the Hatchimal, there's a little space that allows the wings to move up and down during some of its dance moves and some of the gameplay. This is where your ruler comes in handy. It's about 1/2 inch by 1 inch. So I'm just going to lay out my shark face. I'm going to take that ruler and the marker, and I'm just going to put out my measurements here so that I can cut it out. All right, let's see if it fits. Here we go. So there you go. One shark ready to go scare any swimmers that might be on the beach or fish swimming in the sea. Now, if you wanted to add any extra elements, I did mention that you could add a fin or a tail. To add a fin to the shark, I've got this scrap piece of foam, and I'm going to use a glue gun that I mentioned earlier. To begin with, I'm just going to fold the foam in half, and I'm just going to cut it so that it's about the size that I want it to be. Next, I'm going to cut it into the shape. So there's my triangle right there. And now I'm just going to add my glue. Just going to run a thin bead of glue around the edges and then fold it tight. And be careful during this next step because sometimes the glue comes out the seams and it's possible to burn your fingers. Once you have your foam fin, all you have to do is add it to your shark. So you're just going to take another strip of glue. Right along your foam. And you're just going to put it where you want on your costume. Hold it in place, allow it to dry. And there you have it. One shark ready for your Halloween party. For the dinosaur, you will need your Hatchimal, this dinosaur hand puppet that I found at the dollar store, a marker, a ruler, and scissors. Now that you have everything you need, let's get started. Dinosaur. Let's begin by sliding our hand puppet on top of our Hatchimal. Be careful not to damage the wings as you pull it down. You'll notice it's a nice snug fit. Now I want my Hatchimal to be poking through, and so it looks more like a costume. So I'm just going to line his beak up with the center of his mouth. Once I have it in place, I'm going to take my marker, and you can see I've already done this. And I'm just going to mark out a rectangle that I'm going to cut out, which will help to reveal the Hatchimal's face. I'm also going to mark where the wings are on both sides. This will let me cut them out later so that the Hatchimal can move. Once you have the markings complete, remove the hand puppet off your Hatchimal carefully, not to damage anything. Set your Hatchimal aside. Fold your dinosaur in half so that the lines on either side are lined up. And you're going to begin making your first set of cuts. There's one. Two. Now take your time here because it's important that you don't cut yourself. Three. And I can see that I didn't cut all the way through, so I'm just going to make a couple extra snips here to get to the other side of the mouth. And cut number 4, and then we have our space for our face. Next, you'll remember that I marked the spots for the side for the wing to go through. So I'm just going to measure how big the wing space is. If you look at your Hatchimal, you will see that the wings move up and down. And there's a space, a rectangle, that goes around so it can have that movement. We're just going to measure how big that space is. And it looks to be about 1 centimeter by 2 centimeters. So I'm just going to mark this out on our hand puppet. I'm using a washable marker here so that I can take off any extra markings. There we go, that's about 2 centimeters. And 1 centimeter across. And to cut the remaining wing. So we've got, it's about 1 centimeter there, and 2 centimeters. There we go. I'm going to fold that in half. Give a quick snip, snip. Now if your cuts aren't exact, don't worry too much about it, because this material is very stretchy. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's take our Hatchimal and our hand puppet. I'm going to slide this over top, the beak, the wings. Oh, this is a little bit trickier because this is a wider wing on the alicorn than you might find on the pangula. And as I said earlier, it's a very snug fit. Okay, there we go. But because the material is flexible, it's easy to pull it down around and get it exactly where we want it. Ooh, it's looking pretty scary now. Oh, he's so cute, but so scary at the same time. Check that out. One king of the prehistoric era. Now, if you want, you can always take a glue gun and some extra foam bits and you can add hands. Or you could add a tail to your lovely dinosaur, but I think he looks perfect just the way he is. And that's how you make one ferocious dinosaur. Roar!
If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And subscribe for more Hatchimal fun. Bye! Bye! Oh wait, now!